Whoa, 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 it's your boy, and welcome back, man, to the Diamond Crew Sports Podcast, man. Look, the Eagles have cut the roster down to 53, and guess what? We got to talk about it.
The funniest is this one.
You are now tuned in.
He's the funniest in the world.
To the hottest podcast with your host, Big Holla.
The following players, man, have been released or they have been waived. We got Quentin Bell, Ian Book, Kennedy Brooks, Robert Cooper, Jaden Hasselwood, Tyree Jackson, Johnny King, Tyreek Maddox-Williams, Tyrese Robinson, Aleph Sagapulu, Caleb Sanders, Freddie Swain, Marvin Wilson, Britton Covey, Devon Allen, Greg Ward, Teron Jackson, Brady Russell, Josiah Scott, Aaron Sipos, Julian Good Jones, Joseph Ngata, Trey Sermons, Kyron Johnson, Nicholas Morrow, and Kayvon Wallace. Greg Ward, I wanted to bring this up, man. Greg Ward can go directly to the practice squad without clearing waivers. So, seeing Greg Ward back in green is definitely a possibility. I am down for that. Ward is one of those guys who has been on this roster for a few seasons, and we love having him here. We love having him. But there's a few players now on this roster. On this release and waive list that definitely surprised me. Trey Sermons was definitely one of those guys who I felt like would make this roster. Nicholas Morrow was another guy who I felt like would make this roster, but the Philadelphia Eagles had other things in mind. I'm glad we got rid of Britton Covey, but Devon Allen I thought made a case to be back there returning. If we don't have one right now, or do we? Or is that guy on the roster? Well, we just don't know. So let's talk about the 53-man roster, man. So let's talk about the quarterbacks. We have 3 on the roster: Jalen Hurts, Marcus Mariota, Tanner McKee. On the running back side, we have 4. We have Kenneth Gainwell, Rashad Penny, Boston Scott, DeAndre Swift. On the wide receivers, we have 4. We have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and Olamide Zaccheaus. On the tight end, we have Grant Calcaterra, Dallas Goedert, Albert O, and Jack Stahl. Offensive line, we have Landon Dickerson, Jack Driscoll, Fred Johnson, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Jason Kelsey, Jordan Mailata, Sua Peta, and Tyler Steen. Edge rushers, we have Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham, Patrick Johnson, Hassan Reddick, Nolan Smith, and Josh Sweat. At the defensive tackle, we have Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Mauro Ojomo, Kentavious Street, Marlon T. Milton Williams. Linebackers, we have 3. We have Zach Cunningham, Nakobe Dean, Christian Ellis. Cornerbacks, we have 7. We have James Bradbury, Mario Goodrich, Josh Jobe, Avante Maddox, Eli Ricks, Khalil Ringo, and Darius Slay. At the safety, we have Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Terrell Edmonds, Justin Evans. At the special teams, we have Jake Elliott and Rick Lovato. So let's go through this 53-man roster, because in my opinion, man, the Eagles are stacked. We are stacked. I'm not saying we perfect, but we stacked roster-wise. And we have a bunch of good guys on this team. Okay, but we are thin in places, in my opinion. And let's talk about those few spots. First of all, let's talk about the linebacker spot. We got Zach Cunningham, Nakobe Dean, and Christian Ellis. And my prediction, I predicted that Nicholas Morrow may make this team, but obviously he did not. So he did not show enough to make this team. We have been discussing Christian Ellis all off season, not off season, but all preseason and training camp. And Nakobe Dean is our green dot. He's our guy. But I see how we making another move to add some depth to this spot, you know, because you just can't. I mean, we know we play a lot of corners. I mean, we bring the safeties up. Excuse me. But we still need 4 to 5 linebackers on this roster, in my opinion. We have a lot of cornerbacks. That's a testament to Howie Roseman and his how he drafts, and also how he views these players, especially the undrafted free agent side. The safety spot, man, we got 4 guys there: Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Terrell Owens, and Justin Evans. I didn't think that Justin Evans was going to make this roster, but obviously he did enough to make this roster. But I also think that he's a guy who can contribute to this team as a return man, you know, especially with us releasing and waiving our 2 that we had in Covey and Allen. But I think Allen is one of those guys. Covey's not coming back, but Allen is one of those guys that if he was able to clear waivers, you would see him on this roster or on the practice squad. So we had to see what's up, man. But I think they kept Justin Evans just as an insurance policy, and also Terrell Edmonds may be one of those guys that plays special teams, you know, in the absence of Kayvon Wallace, because Kayvon Wallace did a lot for the team at the special team side. So we might get a more of a dose from Justin Evans, man. And hopefully the team made the right decision there. I can't wait to find out. The rotation at defensive tackle is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be hard to stop. Especially with Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, even Contavious Street, him being a veteran player. We can't forget about Fletcher Cox. We definitely stacked there. So I think that we have one of the best defensive tackle rotations in the league. Let's talk about this tight end run, man, because this has changed. This has changed with 4 guys. So that's telling you we're gonna be hugging. We're going to run a lot of that 12-man personnel. With Calcaterra, we feel like he's a guy that can do everything. We don't even need to discuss how good Dallas Goedert is. Albert O is one of those players. He's a fast guy. He's a good pass catcher, a good route runner. He can do a lot at the tight end spot. And Jack Stahl, we know he's one of those guys, so we can bring in, and he's a blocking guru. So let's go ahead, man. I'm excited to see, you know, what happened with this roster. I'm excited for the start of the season. We got less than 2 weeks until the kickoff between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Patriots. And look, man, we ready to get into it. We definitely ready to get into it, man. So let's talk about a few of the roster additions the Eagles have made. We already spoke about it a little bit, but let's talk about the Broncos trading tight end Albert O and the 2025 7th round pick to the Eagles for a 2025 6th round pick. Howie Roseman is a genius. Howie Roseman strikes again. Some people are thinking that these teams like the Broncos are colluding to stack up this team, and so we can run it back and do it again. But that's not the case, man. Howie Roseman put these other general managers on notice, man. A lot of these general managers say that when you speaking to Howie Roseman, you got to keep your hands on your wallet. You got to keep your hands in your back pocket, because he is still everything. That's the type of GM that we have with Howie Roseman. So welcome to the team, Albert O. I hope you make an impact instant, and I can't wait to see you out there. Let's talk about another roster addition that won't affect us too much this year, but may affect us next year, and we can definitely see the vision here. The Eagles have signed former Colts cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, who was suspended indefinitely this year for gambling. He played for the Colts. I think Howie may have some plans for this guy after the season. He's a good corner, and also he plays in the return game as well. So look, man, Howie is putting the pieces in position. That's what he does, man. And that's why we're going to be good for the next 4 to 5 years, maybe even 6. Let's talk about what AJ Brown said, 'cause I think it was extremely important that we discuss this. AJ Brown said the Eagles fans and the media should not debate who's the better receiver between him and Devontae. He also said that we should just appreciate that we have 2 number 1 receivers on this team. So he don't think we should do that, and I agree. I definitely appreciate, the talent that we have at the receiver side. That's the best talent that we've had in years, especially having 2 over 1,000-yard receivers. That's major. And I don't think that we should be comparing the two. Let's talk about another maybe or potential roster update. The Eagles have approved his request, Derek Barnett, to seek a trade. His agent is supposed to be finding other teams that may be interested in him and seeing what the market looks like for him. And I can say one thing: thank you and good riddance. We're not going to forget about the things that you did for the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. We can't forget about that. But with saying that, we gotta let this young blood get out here and do their thing. It's just not a lot of room here for a guy like Derek Barnett, and I feel like we can get more from him being gone than we can get for him on this team. That's just my honest opinion. I'm cool with seeing him on another team. So hopefully we will be reporting here sometime this week that he have found a suitor. He has found a squad, and it won't be with the Philadelphia Eagles. Eli Ricks. Let's talk about Eli Ricks, man, because this is a special case. Eli Ricks is an undrafted free agent from Alabama. He came on his roster. Howie brought him on, and he just played his heart out, man. He was one of the highest graded corners in preseason. I think the target percentage against him was like 39% when he was targeted. So look, man, that says numbers, and it speaks volumes. With Howie and how he viewed these players, how he filled his team. We have so many good undrafted free agents that make this roster that turn out to be starting players on any other team in this league. Let's think about TJ Edwards. Let's think about Reed Blankenship. Let's think about Christian Ellis. Let's think about Eli Ricks. These are all guys that Howie put in position, and he just sees the talent. He knows that the talent is there, man. He can see it. He can smell it, So shout out to Howie Roseman for bringing on Eli Ricks, man. He gonna definitely do wonders for this team. I can't wait to see it, man. Hopefully, he gets some playing time on Sunday, and we see him have good games. He grows into the player that we think that we have. Will Terrell Edmonds continue to have that starting role over Sidney Brown? We don't know, man. Sidney Brown has made a case, and he let us know that he has what it takes to be a starter in this league, man. A lot of the content creators and a lot of the Eagle fans would rather see Sidney Brown than Terrell Edmonds start, but we have to wait and see. We have to see how Nick Sirianni, how Sean Desai feel, and look, man, soon enough we're gonna know what the depth chart looking like. But for right now, all we can do is just guess. Let's talk about something else that's major, man. Hassan Reddick is back at practice, and his thumb is healing. They said it's moving in the right direction. He said it's nothing that we should be concerned about. He also said that he will be ready for game 1. So look, man, that's major news, because he's one of those guys that disrupt offenses and put quarterbacks on their pockets. So we definitely need him to be present. I would like for him to be present all season, but God willing, he stay healthy and this team stays healthy. So I want to talk about Jonathan Taylor, man. So Jonathan Taylor was not able to find a team for him to get traded to before I think it was like the 4 p.m. deadline today. I don't know if everybody just didn't have the money. I think that the Miami and the Philadelphia were the only two teams that were even considering bringing on a player like Jonathan Taylor. But for right now, they could not find a team. He will be on the PUP list for the first 4 games of the season. But he will remain a Colt for now. I kind of knew already that he would not end up on his roster. That's just something, that was put in motion, and how we acquire about every player, especially every player of his caliber, that's seeking for a trade. So we kind of already knew what was up, but put him on his roster would have been crazy, and y'all wouldn't have been ready for that type of time. But guess what, man? If you still watching this and you still tuned into this and this video helped you out, please, man, do me a favor. Like it, comment, subscribe, hit that notification, and share this, man. Help this channel out. Because look, man, Hot ain't going nowhere. But guess what? For now, Hot out.